Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Living in Community, and we are on day 15. I'm back in the motorhome. I got some feedback that my garage was a little too echoey, and I'd love to shoot outside, but I've got neighbors and people are out, and so I'm concerned about the feedback. Also, I'm getting to the end of my hat collection. If you've been following along for a little bit, I'm trying to go through all of my hats, and my daughter hopefully is going to cut my hair this week, so I won't have to wear a hat. So I want to talk today about something that you may be experiencing, certainly in your lifetime, but over the past 15 days, and that's anxiety. I know in the Bible there's several verses, probably super quoted verses. Philippians chapter 4 is one of them, where the Bible says, "Don't be anxious," and then we feel guilty about being anxious, and okay, I'm not supposed to, but I also live in this place called reality, and I'm stressed about some things that are going on, and then First Peter 5:7, it talks about cast all your anxieties on Him because He cares for you. That's another one that you hear often in church when we're talking about anxiety. But I want to talk to you about a lesser known passage that if you've ever read this story, you've probably read it. But oftentimes in the Bible, we can read through things and we skip over the significance unintentionally about what the passage is trying to say. If you haven't turned to this passage before, today what I want you to look at is Job 42:16, and there's these three really key words that are in this story. Now, just to give you a quick recap, Job, probably someone who has experienced anxiety in ways I know I've never experienced before. But this story of Job, he lost everything except his wife. But he experienced personal sickness, financial ruin. He lost his family, his kids. Just his close friends turned on him. I mean, pretty much everything in Job's life was jacked up. And he went to God and he gave God his anxieties and had a conversation with God that when you read it was like, oh, God's reminded Job of who God is and who Job is not, which was a good reminder, and how Job handled that. But at the end of the story, you hear about how Job has gone through this terrible, terrible experience, this terrible time. And then at the end of the story, there's it talks about all of his fortunes that were restored, and all the things that came back, and he and his wife, they had more kids and all this stuff. But here in Job 42:16, three words, the Bible says, "And after this." And then it talks about how long Job lived, and all the things that Job got to experience. Here's what I want to key in on those three words: "And after this." Whatever you and I are facing today, whatever is causing anxiety in our lives, there will come a point where we will move past this. What we're experiencing in our country, in our world right now, there will come a point where we will move past this. If you're experiencing stress in certain areas of your life, there will come a point where you will move past this. And after this is a great reminder to us, one, that God is in control, that God understands what's going on in our lives, and that there will be an and after this. Now, for some of it, you might not experience it this side of heaven, but you will experience an and after this. So here's what I want you to do today: is not necessarily dwell on your anxieties, but write them down. Make a list of, and maybe you can't write down all of them, I get that, but the ones that are really pressing on you right now, the ones that are keeping you awake at night, write them down. And then ask yourself, what would it look like if God handled these? Now, not the flowery, God's going to solve all my problems, but what would it look like to give God these things? Because our situations aren't necessarily going to change, certainly not in the next 15 days or so. But what would it look like if, when those things came to mind, I could tell myself, God has that. God has that. There will be an and after this. something to think about today as we're rolling through a new normal in our lives. That yes, anxiety is a real thing. Yes, the things that we are facing are real and difficult. But what is also true is that there is a God in heaven that we can cast our cares upon, who wants us to talk to him about our anxieties and provides an and after this. Hope you guys have a great day. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.